Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakaathuhu. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Allahumma ij'alna minhum wa min alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. اللهم ثبتنا عند الموت بلا اله الا الله امين يا رب العالمين. Inshallah ta'ala, in the 20 plus minutes that I have to share with you, I'll first remind you, if you don't already know, of the source of the title that was offered to me, Following the Lizard. It comes from a famous hadith narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in which the messenger essentially warned us, لَتَتَّبِعُنَّ سُنَنًا مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. You are no doubt going to follow the people, the legacies of those who came before you. People that came before us, and when, just quickly paraphrasing, the companions asked him, Al-Yahud wal-Nasara, Al-Yahud wal-Nasara, are you referring to the Jews and the Christians? So then he said, Fama, who else? Who else am I referring to? And in showing us the extent to which we will follow the nations who came before us, the messenger gave a parable, an example. And that was the example of if one of them was to go into or crawl into the hole of something like a lizard, right? Bump is kind of like a lizard. Then you would do the same. You would follow it just the same. First, a little bit about this example. You know, crawling into any animal's home is illogical for human beings. This doesn't make any sense. And so one of the clear implications of this parable is if the people before you made mistakes that are utterly ridiculous, they don't make any sense at all, they are clearly harmful for you, you will still do them, even if they don't make any sense. And also there's something else. It is the imitation of an animal. You see, an animal behaves a certain way and a human being behaves another. Allah has dignified the human being. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Without a doubt, we have already honored and dignified the human being, the children of Adam, son of Adam. So now, acting in a way that is not even becoming of decent human beings. If they do so, you do so too. These are some of the direct implications of the profound words of our Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm pretty confident that all of you, if not most of you, have heard a khutbah or a talk about imitating those or following the path and the legacy of those who came before us. You've heard a khutbah about this before, and you have heard this hadith before too. I'm fairly confident. And typically the khatib, or the alim, the scholar, the one who is reminding you will tell you, well, we shouldn't follow them in certain ways. For example, we shouldn't follow them in the way they dress. If they dress in ways that are inappropriate, that are not becoming of the standards that Allah has set for those who believe, then we shouldn't imitate them. We shouldn't follow them in that way. You may have heard someone tell you, well, there's a certain culture, especially in high school in the United States, there's a certain culture. Something that I thought would be different from the Northeast where I used to live when I was in high school. It would be different in the South, it would be different in the West Coast. But I traveled the country and I visited over 50 Muslim communities. I saw pretty much the same culture. And this is a culture in which there's a certain attitude that is almost glorified. There's an attitude that's glorified. So if you have a certain kind of walk, then that's respectable. A walk that basically, it projects yourself as an arrogant, full of yourself, conceited human being. But this is something looked up upon. There's an entire industry, entire genres of music, where the songwriter and the singer will sing nothing about praising himself. There's an entire genre. This is looked up, I am this, and I am that, and I can do this, and I have this much money, and look at my car, and look at my clothes, and look at the ring on my finger, and look at my watch. And this is glorified. And when you compare this to what Allah Azza wa Jalla has revealed, we glorify Allah Azza wa Jalla, we humble ourselves. It's the exact opposite direction. So here you have kids, Muslim kids, that are going to Sunday school, that are attending the khutbah at the masjid, and they have their iPod in their pocket, and in their iPod, the khatib is talking about humility and humbling yourself before Allah and khushu' in the salat, and after the khutbah they hit the play button on the MP3, and here's somebody singing about how great they themselves are. And arrogance, the irony of the whole thing. So this is one way of following, whichever way they go. This is Just one way, certainly. You know, our deen teaches us to clean up the way in which we speak. It's such a profound statement. Even to mention the name of corrupt things is horrible after you have iman. You can't even mention those things after you have iman. You're disgusted by mentioning terrible things. Yet we live in a culture where comedy, for example, has entirely to do with either shameless, vulgar things, obscene things are funny, right? Every other joke has to do with something disgusting, something Muslims would never talk about, would never be entertained by, yet that's comedy. Or Allah Azza wa Jalla tells us, لا يسخط قوم من قوم. Don't let one group, one nation make fun of another nation. And what is comedy nowadays? Except for imitation of how the Chinese speak, or how the Indian speaks, or how the Arab speaks. One nation making fun of another. That's comedy for you. This guy does a really great imitation and humiliates this other person very, very well. Therefore, he must be a great comedian. So they follow this path. And Allah tells us, don't make fun of another nation. And we say to ourselves, chill out, brother, it's just comedy. It's just, it's all fun. It's just entertainment. You don't have to make such a big deal out of it. So what I'm trying to tell you is, we are following and being basically victimized by a legacy we don't even realize we're following that track. We don't even realize it. I'll tell you something. Many of the youth here, they will know the parents. You might find this disturbing, but I have to share this with you. Your kids and the youth, even the religious youth, among themselves, just jokingly, they might mention something about homosexuality. They might make a joke about it. They might find it funny too. They might laugh at each other about it. Oh, that movie was really gay. And everybody's going to be laughing. Yet, when we use these words, who made this terminology mainstream? This is a word, and this is a concept, an idea, that the Muslim would never even consider bringing up in conversation, much less joke about it. And yet it's become part of the culture. It's so in our face all the time that even we have incorporated it into our daily conversation. This is a sign that there is a deterioration occurring. There's a problem that's happening. We are being desensitized. But at the same time, I do want to let you know that the concern of my sharing these ideas with you is not to be condescending to another group of people, not to say that we're better than the Jews and the Christians. By the end of the talk, inshallah ta'ala, that will become clear. That's not the reason I'm telling you this. Because Muslims ride on this high horse too many times and fall flat on their face. At least we're not like that. What do you mean you're not like that? What's missing anything? So now, in the few ways in which we imitate or we have followed the nations before us, one of them, I want to share with you some ayat of the Quran that show us, or Allah Azza wa Jalla criticizes, or basically wakes us up, that we don't follow into that lizard's hole. For instance, Allah Azza wa Jalla tells us in Al-Baqarah, أَمْ تُرِيدُونَ أَنْ تَسْأَلُوا رَسُولَكُمْ كَمَا سُئِلَ مُوسَى مِنْ قَبْلُ. Do you intend to question your messenger like Musa alayhi salam was questioned before? Is that what you want to do? And what this tells us from another hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one of the three things that Allah does not like is kathratu su'al. Too many questions. Too many questions. If you look at a change in paradigm, a change in mentality, on the one hand, that you have the companions of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, wa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu ajma'in, they come to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and they ask him, what more can I do to please Allah? Tell me something that will get me into Jannah. Tell me something that will bring me close to Allah. Tell me something, a dhikr I can make that is the most reward. These are the questions the Sahaba are asking. Right? What more, how more they can become slaves of Allah. This is what they ask. You go across the